How's it feel? You did 4.5 kilometers, right? 4.5?
4.3 miles.
4.3 miles. 4.3.
4.5 miles.
4.3 miles.
4.5.
4.5?
And then
4.3. Which one?
4.5 miles. 7.3 K.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Exciting. I mean,
We did it.
That's halfway for your marathon, right?
It's a third.
Yeah, it's a third.
It's a third of a marathon. I did a third of a No, I did a third of a half marathon.
Half marathon.
And clearly my brain is not working. But we did
Sorry,
it.
I'm not helping.
It's okay. We did it. You did it too.
I mean, try my best. Come out of retirement.
My trainer.
I'm almost 40.
Stop it.
It's a true story.
Okay, well I'm almost 40 as well then.
No, you're not.
No, I'm mid 30s.
Sure. Yes, you are.
Had some popcorn post-run, which just is such a yummy little snack. I feel as if I'm eating so much more. Two things, because running more, obviously. Also, because I have my period. It is so fun to just be a woman and to live like this every single month. But I originally didn't think I'd be able to run on my period. And I surprised myself. I did it. I wasn't sure if I was going to. I wanted to get out anyways and just see how it went. But I proved to myself that I can do hard things. And I think this goes to a lot of people who understand chronic pain or have lived with chronic pain. It really is a mind over matter thing. So even though I am dealing with pretty intense cramps, yes, I take my medication that helps with the inflammation. But I do a lot of lifestyle and dietary changes and restrictions to help with the cramps and overall like feeling better. And since being AIP for almost 8 months, which is really crazy, I can see the difference now. I would say it took a while for me to really feel the difference. And the fact that I ran 7K on my period is actually crazy to me. Like, I don't think I would have been able to do that even like 4 months ago. A few months into AIP, I was feeling better, but not where I'm at now. Like, I don't have just the crazy pain, the vomiting, the passing out, the like all the things that come with having endometriosis on top of just having your period. I definitely have to watch my energy levels. Hence, now I'm on the couch because I did all the things that I'm going to do today because I ran 7K and now I'm like, I'm done now. So I'm very proud of myself. I'm going to say it. I am very proud of myself for getting out there. I figured if I started running and I did not feel up for it and I felt like the pain was too much or anything, that I would just stop. But I really did channel my mind over matter. I got to the finish line, got myself a little iced coffee, and I did a huge walk home. So that is another thing that's definitely been helping with running, is making sure that I'm walking afterwards. And the reward of just like being on the couch post shower and just relaxing, it truly feels so good and so rewarding. It really is that reward, because if I were to just kind of laze around today being on my period, I would feel sluggish, and that is definitely like a type A tendency I struggle with. And I'm just embracing it. And I'm actually going to start going on Pinterest and pinning some things for my April mood board, because if you know that I do a new mood board, sort of inspo board, manifestation board, whatever it may be, for each month, and then I'm going to work on my intentions for the month and also do my reflections for March, because we are at the end of March somehow. Relaxing evening because I crashed. We had dinner. We made a really yummy steak for dinner, and then I was going to continue working on my little mood board. And then I got on the couch, got cozied up again, and she fell asleep. So it was an early night and a long sleep, which is clearly what I needed. And we are up, not too early, but like early enough. We are taking control of the day. My energy levels are definitely low, but we are going to the farmer's market for obviously farmer's market goods, but there is also a knife sharpener there. So we've seen them before, and we haven't had a chance to bring all of our knives to get sharpened, which we really need to. As we were like cutting dinner last night, I was like, okay, these knives, they're not going to do anything for the food. They're not sharp. So that is our morning excursion, which feels nice to kind of have a reason to get up and get out. Though it is gray, hence me wearing this hoodie. I'm also going to put a coat on. It is a very gray, blasé day. I don't know if it's going to get warmer, and we do have some outdoor kind of things that we're going to be doing. We have a friend's kid's birthday party in the park, so trying to dress appropriately for that. But I figured a hoodie and a little jacket would be cozy, and obviously the coffee. The coffee is very necessary. I could technically buy one, but I think it's important to remind myself that I can also make a coffee and bring a coffee, and this way I get to enjoy it on the drive and before I get to the market, and hopefully find some good food for the day. Okay, let's enjoy a little bit of coffee and hit the road to get to the market. Just finished giving myself an injection. As you saw, this is a new treatment for my migraines. It is monthly injections, which I've done injections before monthly for hormones for my endometriosis, like in my 20s. I used to get I started getting monthly, and then I was able to move it up to every 3 months. So I'm not scared of needles by any means, but those injections I had done by a nurse. These ones I get to do at home with my own needle. So this is a drug called Emgality. I guess there's a lot of drugs similar. I'm learning so much about the pharmaceutical world here in the US. It's very different than Canada. It's like all brand names. Like you talk about drugs and brand names. It's very strange. So this is it the fourth? It's the third consecutive injection I've had. I had one like a while ago, and then my insurance, there was like issues with insurance, so I finally got it approved. So it's the third consecutive. I should start to see results between 2 and 6 months. So we have no idea if this is going to support the migraines, but I did do a lot of research on Reddit, and a lot of people say that this is something that has really helped them. So I'm all here for it. And I think it's also good practice for me to do injections because I know I probably mentioned it before, having endometriosis, I have a lot of fertility issues, especially with adenomyosis, and the likelihood of having to do IVF is quite high, as in I don't know if we will have kids without doing IVF. So I should probably learn how to give myself injections because it may be something I have to do for more than once a month at some point. But leave that for another day. I finished doing all of my mood boarding and writing out my intentions for April. And I'm going to be transparent with you guys. April is not my favorite month for many reasons, which really sucks because it is also my birthday month. So you would think your birthday is like the best month or you're more excited. But for me, April is a very emotional month, very heavy. It is the month that I lost my dad. It's also the month I lost one of my aunts. So it is a very, very heavy, very emotional, full of grief. And I feel that like leading up to April, like every year at the end of March, I just start to feel it and I don't even recognize it's happening. So even the past couple of days, at first I was just blaming my luteal phase and then getting my period. But I also realized, oh yeah, there's this like weight of grief that is very heavy on me because April is a lot of grief. And though April is also like a new season, I guess it's technically spring because the spring equinox just passed. So I'm looking at it as like a new season of change. Grief is a part of change, I guess. Like you grieve things that have passed as you look forward to new things. So a lot of my intentions this month are about grief and change. So hopefully that relates to you. I'm going to put them again as a post on my YouTube page and then on Substack as well. I'm going to kind of dive a little bit deeper into it. So for me, I'm really just trying to understand how I can navigate this month through the change, through grief, while also like honoring it and not trying to, I guess, like dismiss it or suppress it, which is something that I definitely had done years ago after my dad died, which this year will be 14 years. So that's pretty crazy because that is almost half of my life without him, which is a long time. So I'm just trying to be kind to myself tonight as I think about those intentions. I think the biggest thing for me is learning how to actually ask for support, how to lean on my community, and also how to be there for other people. I think that's one thing that I have really been conscious of since my dad died years ago is how can I show up for other people who are navigating this? Because when he died, I was 19. It was right before I turned 20. And no one my age had lost a parent. Like it was so foreign that it was extremely isolating to me. So I want to be able to help other people. So I think that's a big thing for me this month, intention-wise, is community, friendship, like showing up vulnerably, authentically, and then also how I can just be extra kind to myself as I navigate change in life and sort of like the new season, spring, things were coming, and just being able to give myself more grace and more kindness. I think I'm very hard on myself in so many different ways. And I know I talked about this before about always striving for the best and being very A-type. And so with my running journey, I think a big reason why I'm doing that is to have something for myself outside of work, but also something to just prove that I can do things, that I can do hard things, and that it's not about being the best. It really is just for me to remind myself that like I am very resilient. I have been through very hard things in my life, and I will probably go through very hard things again in my life. And so I want to remember that as I navigate things that I put myself into that are hard, like running a half marathon, but also just when life throws curveballs and things happen and change happens and there's the unknown of life. So I'm really trying to lean into that for this month's intention. I do hope I'm not the only one that feels that way, and I hope we can do it together. And I always feel a little bit like off after this injection. I don't know if that's actually real or if that's like a bit of a placebo thing, but I just feel like I need to like take it easy because I'm also doing a run in the morning and I want to have a good night's sleep. I have not been sleeping that well the past couple of nights, so I hope to have a good night's sleep and make sure that tomorrow is a good day. Coming back from a run and just eating right away. This morning I did my short run for the week, so it was just like 2.5 miles, 2-ish miles, but it was mostly hills and it is hard. I am not good with incline. I think because all of my running history, training journey when I started running like years ago was in Toronto and there's just like no incline there, so I'm really working on it. And the mind over matter was big today because I didn't really feel like doing it, in all honesty. I just didn't feel like going up a hill. But I knew that I would have my breakfast to come home to, a coffee, just the excitement of a warm coffee to come back to really gave me that fuel. And also knowing it was only like 2 miles. It was not a big run and I didn't need to get into my head about it. I did want to tell you guys what my running schedule looks like each week as I'm training. So I'm really just going off of, not to say the vibes, but a little bit of the vibes, and also how I trained for my half marathon 7 years ago is I do 1 5K run a week. That's like a standard, that's sort of considered like a short-ish run. And then I'm trying to do a shorter run like I did today that either focuses on hills or just trying to increase my endurance and get my mile or kilometer pace higher. So just making sure, I guess lower, getting my mile or kilometer pace at a faster pace so that I can try to build that endurance. And then I do 1 long run a week, which I usually leave for the weekend because it takes me out. It's like, you know, you plan for the run, you usually get a little treat, a little eat afterwards, you walk home, shower, it's like a whole thing. So every week I'm adding 2 kilometers onto that long run. So last week I just did 5K was my long run on a Saturday, then 7K. So then this week will be 9K on a Saturday. And basically up until when the half marathon is, I'm adding 2 kilometers on that Saturday run. And right before the half marathon, like the Saturday before, I will try to cap it at like 19 or 20K. I'm not going to do the full 21 kilometer run before doing the half. I'm saving that for the half so that I can't psych myself out. And then I'm pretty sure, I think every like race has the cheer section usually closer to the finish line, like usually around like 18, 19K mark. So for me, I just know once I get to that section and there's like more people cheering for me and I really think it's about me and like this encouragement, that I will be able to get to the 21. So I think that's how I'm working and training my brain. Obviously, I'm trying to include other activities. So yesterday I did a long walk as well. So those are sort of like my rest days are long walks. And then I'm doing mat Pilates, as you know. And I'm also going to try to do either like some reformer Pilates and maybe a spin class here and there. Last time I did my half, I was doing a lot of spin classes, but I can't find spin classes in my neighborhood. There are a lot in LA, obviously, but just not anything too local. And I would rather go somewhere closer to me rather than have to drive like a half hour, 45 minutes to get to a spin class. But if I have to do that, I might do that as I get closer to just, again, help with building endurance. But the real whole thing of doing this is really just proving to myself that I can and having something outside of work, because I really am like looking back at my life over the last 5 to 10 years, and it's like pretty dominated by work. And I think that's understandable as an entrepreneur, and even just like anyone building their career, work is sort of your priority. But I do also want to have enjoyment. And I got a message from a friend the other day who was like, "Oh, it's so great to see you running again. Like, you look like you're really enjoying yourself." And that was just like really nice to hear, because I think we put such priority on professional growth, professional development, career path, that we forget that there's so much outside of your career in life. You know, think of The Devil Wears Prada. Go back to that, where Andy throws her cell phone in the river. You know, I definitely feel like Andy from time to time. So I am reminding myself that this is just a journey for me, solely about me, not about obviously monetizing or work or professional. It really is just for me to prove that I can, and just to feel good in my body. I think that's a big thing dealing with chronic pain, is like there's a lot of times I don't feel good in my body. So choosing to find ways to feel good in my body, which is nice to be able to do that, I think. It feels good. It feels good. But I'm going to leave the vlog here. I will obviously update you on more running. There's some other things going on in the month of April as we head into the new month with my new intentions. I will put those in the description below, and then also as a post. You can find it on Substack, on my social media. You can find me at basically everywhere on the internet at Ofori-Attah. And I will see all of you on the next one. Bye.